Questions. We have tons of them. What if some of those questions can be answered with a simple email? Now is that time, and welcome to Chat with Charlie. Host Stephanie Lynn is a certified spiritual life coach and psychic medium. She will work together with Spirit to answer both your submitted and live questions. Not only will Stephanie be providing you with insight, but also interviews with amazing guests. Now, your host of Chat with Charlie, Stephanie Lynn.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Chat with Charlie show. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you guys since the new year, so I'm going to say Happy New Year first. Thank you for tuning in. You are watching or listening to the Chat with Charlie show on WLTK-DB, Let's Talk Paranormal Radio. I'm really excited. We did have some change-ups today. I know a lot of you guys are tuning in expecting to see psychic medium Jessica. Good morning, Jackie. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I agree. I'm ready to go. We're ready to go and have a great show. But we are still doing the live reading show. I'm really excited to bring my friend and colleague and fellow host here. You guys love her. A lot of you know her already. Please help me welcome Krisltina Bloom to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
I'm fabulous.
I
woke up super early just to do this and didn't even know why.
You know, it's funny. We talked a little bit about that before the show. I kind of woke up thinking, oh, I feel like our guest is going to have something come in and not be able to make it. And I'm like, no, sometimes we still get nervous about our shows, right?
Yeah, right.
And I'm driving my kids to school and I got a message and I'm like, oh, life happens. I completely understand life happens. We have to take care of things. And I'm like, Spirit, what am I going to do? We're supposed to collaborate. We're supposed to be here for our viewers and offer them some insight. And they're like, call Kristina. I'm like, Kristina hosts a late night podcast. She's not going to be awake at 7:30 in the morning. And there you were.
And there I was.
Yes, I was so excited. Jackie says, welcome, Kristina.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to whoever said good morning, ladies.
Yes. So there's a permission. We were just talking about this, that they have to give to StreamYard, I believe, so that we can see who they are, or put your name in there and let us know who you are.
Right.
That works too. So before we get to questions, because that's okay. This is a live reading show. Good morning. And we want to give you guys insight. We want to give you inspiration for the year ahead. Anything that you might be looking at going, I'm not sure what's going on. We want to help you with that. So start sending in your questions, submitting those. But I want to talk to you, Kristina. Good morning, Ellie.
Hi, Ellie. Good morning.
I want to talk to you about, you have a lot of exciting things going on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've got so much going on. When we're done here, I'm going to go right away over to Clubhouse and record a podcast with the Soulful Sharing Circle.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Adirondack Park Paranormal Society that I'm a part of, we're releasing our first seasonal, our first episode of our second season of podcast on Saturday. So excited about that.
And where can people find, what's the name of that podcast? So I want to drop
it is
the
called
link in there.
APPS Alchemists. That's the Adirondack Park one. And the other one is Soulful Sharing Circle. But I'm not sure when that one's going to be released. We're recording today.
Perfect. So we will make sure that we get those links over so people can find you and find those, because it's so exciting.
Yeah.
And tell us about your book.
Oh, which one? Let's see. I have this one.
I love it.
And I have this one, Wisdom for the Age of Ascension. And I was just in a collaborative effort. I don't have that one yet. And it is called Divine Feminine Awakening. And we had 16 authors who each wrote a chapter.
That's such a great idea. I'm looking forward to getting my fingers on that one, because I think it's such a great collaboration of people coming in. So we do have some questions popping in already, if you're ready.
Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Erin.
Jackie is asking, and she says she'd just love any messages for the upcoming year.
All right. I just want to say hi to Dorothy too. Hi, Dorothy.
Yes. Oh, I didn't see Dorothy's pop up there. Good
I
morning,
know, because
Dorothy.
everything is coming in so fast
It is,
now. It disappears.
which is exciting, but I feel like I'm missing and waving. So good morning, everybody.
All right. So any messages for the upcoming year? Well, we're both answering messages, right? So
Yeah.
let's see. Just going to tune into Jackie's energy and see where we go from there. Just in general, I feel like this is going to be a really exciting year for spiritual growth. You know, I've been seeing so many negative posts about, oh, it's going to be such a hard year for light workers and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Right.
you know, really, that's a choice of perception, because we are stepping into the next level of ascension, which means more personal growth and more, you know, we've done a lot of releasing the last 3 years, a lot of grieving the
Yes.
last 3 years, a lot of letting go of things the last 3 years. And I feel like this year is like, okay, all that junk is out of the way. Now we can grow.
Absolutely.
That's the way that I'm feeling about it. In general, Facebook user wants to know why they can't see the comments.
Yeah, I have it started. I was going to ask Todd if
Yeah.
you're back there, if you can maybe shoot us in the private chat what they need to do so that they can see comments, and then we can help them out. You know what? I'm tuning into Jackie, and I
Good.
went to the cards with this because I know her personally, and so I wanted an outside opinion on this. And the card I got is the energy flow card. And I was hearing trust, which I think we all need to work on our trust. That's kind of a universal, always continuing thing. But with the energy card, I actually pulled it and it was inverted, which tells me that I feel like there's some alignment that needs to happen, whether it's her with her chakras, whether it's with her and her journey. But I do feel like there's going to be energy shifting coming in, so that the energy shifting is more positive versus, I don't feel like everything's connected right now, if that makes sense. So I feel like there's going to be some connections, some things coming in that are going to bring you more into alignment and help you adjust that energy.
Okay. Todd answered the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
He said they are in the group and can only see group comments. If they want to see all of the Facebook comments, you have to go to the radio station page, which is facebook.com/WLTK-DB. It's the business page rather than the group page.
Right. So we hope that helps. So if you guys are watching somewhere else, hop over to that.
Right. And I just wanted to chime in on with Jackie. I'm feeling like what's coming up for you. I mean, your question was for the next year. What's coming up for the year? I feel like a message is more of a guideline. And so for you specifically, what I'm getting is to focus on keeping track of your thoughts, allowing your, and when a negative thought pops in, don't berate yourself for it. Just shift gears.
Mm-hmm.
Just focus on something completely different. Because if you're trying to focus on, I don't want to think about that, what you're thinking about is that thing you don't want to think about.
Absolutely.
So, refocusing is what I'm getting. Like that's kind of a word for you for the year, is refocusing.
Yes.
And it takes some training. I mean, you're retraining your brain. It takes time.
And I want to add, when people are looking at, hi, Anne. Good.
Hi,
I'm glad
Anne.
you can see comments now. When you're looking at, like you said, reprogramming, changing that train of thought, for me, I have PTSD from previous experiences within my life. And that was one thing when I went in and I sat down with a therapist, was getting that train of thought to realign. And like you said, when you're like, okay, I'm not going to think about this thing, well, that's where you're focusing all your energy.
Right.
And one technique, and there's lots of techniques that help you refocus with PTSD, but for me, it's a rubber band on my wrist. And when one of those thoughts comes in, I would snap the rubber band, because that, I'm not saying I'm not going to think about it. I snap the rubber band. I'm like, ouch, that hurts. So it goes to ouch, that hurts versus what's in my mind. And even though I've come a long way in dealing with stuff, there's still times if I'm having a rough day, I'll have rubber bands on my wrist, because that's my way of not giving that energy. And so there are different techniques to look into, if you can't, because sometimes things get stuck in there, right? And so we can't just say, I'm not going to think about this. I'm going to think about, oh, the beautiful trees. But that thought still kind of lingers.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Like you said, there's so many different ways to deal with it. And I had, I don't know where it went. I lost it in the move, but it was a card deck with just positive words on it.
Yes, affirmations.
Affirmation words. And it would just be like one word, like joy or
Yes,
love or play
I
or,
love that.
so that would give me something different to focus on rather than the
Yes.
obsessive thoughts. And I know we probably have very similar backgrounds. We haven't talked much about it, but
Right.
there's some PTSD there for a lot of us who do this kind of work. It's almost like how we develop our empathy to the
Right.
degree that it is.
There should be an easier way
You
to
would think
develop
so.
empathy. You would think.
You would think, but this is the path we chose, apparently. So, sorry about the language, but that's what she said. Mary, you are so funny. She is really funny. She tunes into my show a lot.
I love it.
So yeah, just finding a way to refocus, whether it's, it's the rubber band thing that didn't work for me because I kept trying to put it in my hair. So,
Sure.
Good morning, Marilyn.
Good morning.
Marilyn is in my soulful sharing circle.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's just different ways to deal with.
And you got to find what resonates with you,
Right.
with whatever you're doing. So, and just reminding everybody, we are doing a live reading show. So please keep popping in if you're looking for specific guidance, if you're just open to a message. Good morning, Erica. Please feel free to pop that in. Mary says she would love a message.
Okay. Just tuning into Mary's energy here. Mary, when I tune into you, it's like I'm getting images. I'm getting an image of snow, but it's not like happy, pretty snow. It's more like plowed up, gray, yucky, dirty snow. And from that, what I'm getting is that your spirit guides are saying, just relax. The snow will eventually melt and you'll be fine. But, winter is a time when we tend to go inward because not many people are getting out. And so when we're going inward, we kind of get stuck there. And that kind of goes back to refocusing.
Yes.
Focusing on something other than what's bothering you. And I realize that the snow itself is not the issue. It's more of that seasonal kind of ick, the gray skies and the not a lot of energy moving after the holidays. Everything just kind of falls flat and there's not a lot going on. But I feel like don't try not to sit in that because as well as I do, Mary, that turns into depression pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So find something that brings you joy.
I love that. And just to add to it, when you were tuning into Mary's energy, I started getting like in my heart, like chest pains, that anxiety. And I didn't see the snow, but I saw static, like when TVs used to shut off and the station was gone, I saw that static. And to me, I felt like Mary may have times where she really focuses on the static of things going on. And I feel like that causes her to have some anxiety, to like that heart pain. I just felt that anxiousness kind of coming in and coming into my chest. And I too felt like it's time to focus, to push away through that static. But I also feel like you're holding yourself back from doing something that you enjoy or creating. And I feel like you have to fill that space, allow yourself that space to create or to pursue something that might just be for you for now, might just be something to focus on self. And so that would be my message from Spirit to add in.
All right. And I'm already tuning into Dorothy.
Yes.
What will 2023 have in store for me romantically? And as I was tuning in, what I was getting was like an anxiousness, but not anxiety as far as fear, but like, I really want this to happen. I really want this to happen. And whoever this is that's coming into your life isn't ready for you yet, is what I'm getting. Like you might be ready, But to have a relationship, both people have to be ready.
Yes.
And I'm feeling like that other person isn't ready. They haven't done their work yet.
Yes.
That's
I
what I'm
love that.
feeling.
And I'm not going to comment too much because I know Dorothy's a wonderful friend of mine. I know her personally. And I really agree with the message Spirit is bringing through Kristina. It's just that I also kind of want to add, and I know that you are very content within your life, but just allowing this time of not pushing, I guess, and finding things that you enjoy and are focusing on, and just being open for that to kind of move in, like Kristina says, when that other person is ready. Okay.
All right. So let's see. We kind of jumped over Stephanie and went right to Anne.
Oh, did we? I missed.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. Sorry. I'm
Stephanie.
losing. Everybody's coming in so fast.
I know. Sorry. I was tuning into Stephanie and all of a sudden
No,
Anne lit
that's
up. And I'm
okay.
like,
I missed her in my scrolling. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So when I tuned into Stephanie, what I got was I feel like there's someone that you want to come through and communicate with you. I'm not quite getting who that is, but I'm also feeling like there's something having to do with your career, your job, your purpose situation that isn't moving the way that you want it to, or that you're hoping will level up or move in a different direction. I'm not exactly sure what all that is, but it feels like you're waiting and you're going like you're tapping your fingernails on the desk going, come on, I need answers, come on, give me a direction. And that kind of impatience, and believe me, I have a lot of it, so I know I understand this. That kind of impatience stops it dead in its tracks. You just have to be able to sit back and let things flow. And the message that I'm getting for you, it's coming from a woman from the other side, an older woman. It feels like maybe mother, grandmother, aunt, but it's a very nurturing kind of feeling. And I feel like what she's telling you is you're doing great. Stop stressing yourself out. Relax. I feel like that's the message she's bringing through.
That's a beautiful message. As I was trying to connect with you, Stephanie, what Spirit showed me is a set of staircases. And to me, that does speak to the advancements and looking to level up or have changes come into your life. But I also feel like you're going to have multiple opportunities that are going to come in. But what Spirit's saying is within your need or within those moments of not having the patience and wanting the change and the advancement, to really make sure what you choose resonates with you. Because it's almost as if, you know, you'll see this first opportunity come in and you're like, oh yes, finally something's opening up. But really look at the whole picture and make sure that you're taking those opportunities that are for the advancement of the big picture and not just short term. I hope that makes sense for you. Okay. Moving on to Anne.
Yeah, I was tuning. This is working really well because, like, when you're doing that, I'm tuning
right.
into the next one.
It works.
And when I tuned into you, what I got first of all was some heaviness in your heart. I feel like there's some grieving, some sadness, a feeling of something or someone is missing, a feeling of how do I move beyond this? Almost an impatience with yourself, not wanting to. How do I say this? Not wanting to feel what you're feeling, so you want to get over it quickly, and we don't get over love quickly. It doesn't work that way. And it feels to me like any type of sadness, grief especially, is an advanced form of love. And I'm not sure if you're grieving or if it's sadness. I'm not sure what it is I'm picking up, but it's definitely heaviness in the heart chakra, in the heart area. And it feels to me like you're just really impatient with yourself in moving beyond this. And the thing is that I don't feel like you're going to move beyond it. I feel like that experience will just be incorporated into who you are as you move forward, and that will make things easier for you to just understand that this isn't something that you get over. It's something that becomes part of you and ultimately enhances who you are.
I love that. And I do feel like right now where Anne's at, she needs this additional support. And that could be part of what you were picking up on, because I feel like, and I know it's winter, we all kind of struggle, but there is that underlining emotion going on right now with Anne. And as I was listening to you give your message to Anne, I saw what I know is the energy of Anne's parents, because I know Anne very well. And I've read for her before and they've come through, but I felt them coming in and placing their hand on your shoulder, but it wasn't just one or the other. It was almost like they blended. So mom stepped in, then dad stepped in and really placed that reassuring hand on your shoulder, because I do feel like you need some reassurance with where you're at right now. I also feel like, right now things are kind of up and down. You're unsure about a lot of things, but I feel like towards the middle of the year, they're showing me green pastures. I feel like it's going to be a little bit calmer for you. I feel like there's going to be time to breathe. Like I feel that need to just have this big deep breath. So I feel like you're going to be moving into that easier time. And I do want to pop in before we jump to Rita and just say, Mary says, thank you so much. She says the heart pains are coming up as she's going into the second anniversary of her youngest daughter passing from cancer. And so those messages really, really made a lot of sense to her. So thank you, Mary, for that validation. Okay. So Rita's asking for a message, please.
Yeah, I was just tuning into Rita, and I have read for Rita probably more than a few times. I haven't seen her since last summer, but when I'm tuning into Rita right now, I feel like there's kind of like, well, everything seems to be pretty okay, but something is just kind of off. That's what I'm picking up from you right now, Rita. And part of it probably feels like a little bit like frustration, a little bit like I'm not out and about like I normally would be when the weather's nicer. And I know you live a little further north, and where we are, we have like a dusting of snow. And where you all are, there's like feet of snow. So I get that, there's some frustration probably with that. And not that you even really mind the cold, I don't think. But after a while, it's like, okay, can it please stop snowing for a while? Please. I'm feeling like there's some of that just frustration and not getting out and being as social as you normally are or that you would like to be. As far as messages coming through, I'm getting through what's coming through is that there is someone in your life. I don't believe it's you, but someone close to you has some sort of a health issue that you are concerned about. Just remember that the more that you put worry into something, that's not a good feeling. Faith is better than worry. Hope is better than worry. Yeah. So worrying about something like that just makes it harder for the person who has it, because you're literally sending them the energy of worry. Yeah. And that's a heavy energy. So I just wanted to pass that out.
It's beautiful. When I was tuning in to Rita, and I have to say that the whole "please stop snowing" really resonates with me right now too. I feel that like way down deep in my soul. If I have to shovel roofs one more time, I'm not sure I'm going to survive it. But as I was tuning into Rita's energy, I didn't so much as get a message as Spirit actually showed me this beautiful horse. And I don't feel like they're bringing in the horse to be like, hey, Rita likes horses. I really would suggest Rita looking up the spiritual meaning behind having a horse coming in and being part of your support and part of your totem right now. Because what I'm feeling in seeing this horse is there to lend you strength. I feel as I tune into you, just this woesomeness, this, and I don't want to say feeling defeated, but being tired on a soul level. And I feel like with the horse, as I'm seeing it, it's this very proud horse. It's this very strong horse, and it's calling you to remember that strength is still within you. And looking at and changing your perspective of how you're viewing things and letting that strength come in, letting that come in as a support for you and knowing that support is there. I feel like you could be somebody who really internalizes at times how you're feeling. So making sure you find somebody to connect with, to we might not be able to get out and be physically sociable unless you want to come help me shovel roofs. I'd love to have a roof shoveling party, but it is that time of year where we feel more secluded, but we can still be very social in our conversations, in discussing, how we're feeling with people we trust. And so I feel like there's a call to make connections in ways that you may not have made them in the past.
All right.
Okay.
And focusing with Sherry, which is interesting because Sherry and Rita are very good friends.
I
And I've
love
read
that.
for both of them. Yeah. When I tune into Sherry's energy, what I'm getting is like this feeling of celebration. I feel like you've had a lot to celebrate recently, especially probably in the past 6 months or so. I really feel like there's been a lot for her to celebrate. And I feel like moving forward, the only kind of tension that I'm picking up even a little bit, and it's a very little bit, is what's next? What do I do next? How do I keep this energy going? And you keep this energy going by walking in gratitude and appreciation and just really being grateful for all of that. I do feel like there's a little bit of concern about someone's health, but I don't feel like first of all, I feel like the issue isn't as big as maybe it was originally presented by doctors or whatever. But I also do feel like it is something that needs to be taken care of. It's with someone close to you. It doesn't feel like you. And everything is just going to be okay. It's going to be like a much easier recovery than anyone is expecting.
I love that. And I see her dancing. So I don't know if she likes dancing or if this is attesting to your, that celebration, but that joyous feeling. And I feel like you, Sherry, are the kind of person who can see the good things in situations, and you can find ways to look at the more positive aspects of things that you're going through. I do feel like there are going to be new opportunities coming in, because what Spirit's showing me is they're laying the bricks, which tells me you've started to lay that brickwork. You've started to build that foundation to allow things to come in, to allow things to manifest and come in with you. I am hearing, and I don't know if you're somebody who usually goes to a Reiki practitioner, if you practice Reiki, but I keep hearing Reiki. And so allowing maybe that to come in, if that's not something you incorporate, maybe something to look at, because I do feel like you have some intuitiveness, and I feel like this energy work is something that's really good in your journey right now. I'm not sure how Spirit's bringing it in, but they are putting it up as this is important. This is something that we're offering and bringing into the new year. So looking into that and keeping your options open, or an open mind. And they also say, so I do feel like you carry some worry. So on the outside, they say you can be very happy. You can be this smiley person who does see the good in things, and you focus on that. But underneath, I do feel like you carry some worry. And they're saying to set that aside because it's not yours to carry. That can't be hard. Sometimes it's not easy to just set those things down, but they're like, you don't have to carry that burden. It's not yours.
Okay. That was great. Thank you. Tuning into Diana.
Yes.
What I'm getting is kind of an underlying uneasiness, but I can't attach it to anything. Like there doesn't look like there's anything really to attach it to. I
Right.
kind of feel like it might be just kind of a generalized anxiety where it's just a little bit of uneasy, and it's a little bit of, I've learned a lot of stuff. What do I do with it?
Yes.
It's kind of that, and I know Stephanie, you and I have both been through that, where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I learned this and I learned this and I learned this. Now what?
Yes.
And I kind of feel like that's part of it, because you have been, I don't know, it feels like you've been doing a lot of self-teaching, reading, meditating, that kind of stuff. And then you go, okay, well, I have this. Now what do I do with it? And um, what's coming through from Spirit is just that maybe it was just for you.
Right.
Maybe it was just for you. Not everything has to be turned into a business. Not everything has to be turned into service. Maybe it was just for you. And that's what I'm feeling from that.
I love that. And I we'll keep it brief because Diana is someone I've known for years. She's actually one of my students, and so I know a lot of what's going on with her, and she knows we have conversations pretty frequently where my feelings are on that. But I think, and I still hear when I tune into her is the trust. And I know how much she has worked on that trust, but it's not so much the trust of, okay, I trust you with this kitchen knife, you're not going to stab me. It's now moving to this deeper layer of trust where we really are giving spirit more of our vulnerabilities. And so you've built that trust. You recognize when your spirit guides are coming in and working with your higher self and helping those things, but moving to a more personal and vulnerable level within that trust. And before we hop down to Erin, I want to say hello. I know a lot of people are coming in and saying good morning and how much they appreciate the messages. We appreciate that. We appreciate you letting us know. And I agree, Facebook user. I think we are very much in sync. It's Spirit had this all planned. We didn't know, but they had this all planned.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
I love it.
And thank you for that.
Yes.
That touched me when I read that. I was hoping
Me
you were
too.
going to address it.
Yes, me too. And so, and thank you again, way down, and we're seeing your validations and thanking us for the messages. So I just wanted to make sure that we're letting you guys know, and we're glad that it's resonating with you.
Yeah, and I don't know who Facebook user is here, but it says, "Hey, from New Zealand, lovely ladies, first time here. Would love a reading tonight if you're drawn to me, guys."
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in from New Zealand at night.
Yes.
Very much appreciate that. So I saw that and I just wanted to acknowledge that because I know, like, wow, time is passing fast.
It is. And I think I have her starred, so I hope we can get down there to that Facebook. But I love when people are like, "Hey, hi from Italy," or "Hey, hi from wherever." We appreciate that so much.
So much. Yeah. And I know I have a nighttime show, so I will probably never see that exact user again because she will probably be asleep during my show.
Right.
So, but I was tuning into Erin real quick here. And I've met Erin a few times, and when I think of Erin, I think of like love bubbles, like it just bubbles from her.
I love it.
It's just beautiful. So tuning into your career direction first, because that's one of my favorite questions, whereas love is one of my least favorite. So I'm just being honest about it. I don't like love questions. That's just my thing, but but tuning in on your career direction, patience is what comes up, because a lot of us, like we get into the spiritual realm, and I know what her business is. So we get into the spiritual realm and we just want to help everyone. And we just want to be able to put it out there and help everyone. And at the same time, make a living doing it, So there's those two aspects that don't always feel like they go together, but they do. And part of it is that you might still be holding on to some of that. Do I really, am I good enough to charge for this? Or do I really have a right to charge for a gift? My answer to that, by the way, for anyone who is questioning that, pick your favorite musical artist, pick your favorite actor. They're all using their gifts.
Absolutely.
And making a really good living at it.
Even accountants, I can't do numbers. They can. I pay them.
Exactly. We all have different gifts. And, we live in a society that's run on a monetary system. So use your gifts and don't be afraid to charge for them, because you are giving somebody something they can't do for themselves.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. You are providing a service they can't provide for themselves. So don't ever feel bad about that. And I know that that's something that you've been kind of working on and getting over, but there's still that little bit of a hold back, where it's like, there's still some pushback. I still get nailed on it sometimes too. People will, call me out on Facebook about charging for readings. And it's like, can you do it for yourself?
Right.
Then go do it for yourself. But it's a valid career choice, and keep going on that. And I feel like your business it's slowly building, and this is a business that is built on word of mouth. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know Stephanie knows that too.
Networking. If I wouldn't have networked, Kristina and I wouldn't be friends. You guys would just be talking to me right now.
Right.
Network. Use your
Network.
connections.
Yeah. Yeah. Use those connections. And as far as love goes, I have the same message for you, unfortunately, that I had for someone else. And that's that person is not ready yet. Whoever it is that you are moving towards, they're just not ready yet. And I don't feel like it's someone that you know. I feel like it's someone you haven't met yet. So I'm just putting that out there too.
I love that. Great message. I'd like to add with the career, one thing Spirit was impressing on me is looking at, or like outside the box, what you specifically can offer that others can't. And a lot of us get into this, and yes, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium, I do past life regressions, I do these things, but what is my special niche? Where do I fit? And really finding that pinpoint passion for you. So they're saying, look at, they're showing me all your boxes, but really look at the one that resonates with you, and start focusing on highlighting that aspect. You can do all these other things, but highlight the aspect that resonates with you the most. For love, this is going to sound horrible, and I don't know how to be tactful, and so I apologize, but I hear, and my guides are very sarcastic, so I apologize for them in advance. But what I hear is like I get this huff and this eye roll, because I feel like within your search for companionship, you may have had a habit in the past of fitting people into the boxes you wanted them to fit into, making excuses, or maybe saying, well, this will change. And Spirit really wants you to look at this habit before that right person is ready. Not saying, okay, this person's here, I'm lonely, I really want to make this work, and forcing them into the box that you want them in. See them for what they are. Pay attention to those red flags. Don't try to dismiss them away. When we're empathic, sometimes we do that, or sometimes we think, well, they were sent to me for me to heal them or for me to fix them. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to not push them into the box you want them to be in.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
We have Facebook user that says, I would love to know what you see for my business in 2023. And then we have Ellie saying the exact same wording. And I'm wondering if Facebook user is Ellie.
Is that, I kind of was like, as I was looking at that, because I said Facebook user and I keep hearing she.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm thinking. We'll skip Facebook user, but Ellie, if you could verify if that's you. If it's not you, then we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
But we'll hop right down to, because I think Ellie is actually the next starred one.
Okay. Yeah, I went to the starred ones because there was a whole lot of other stuff in there. Okay. So, all right. So Ellie, what I'm looking at for your business, and I'm tuning into your guides because your guides started speaking to me right away. And the word that they're bringing up is timid. Like you've been working on getting over being timid, and kind of sitting in the background and watching because that's your nature. If you want your business to grow, you got to, and I've seen you at some fairs and I know that you're getting out there, but it's almost like you have to build more energy in you to be able to put it out, to draw more people to you, and not just at fairs, but in general. It feels like you are wise. People tell me what great readings you do. You have a lot of this really good stuff. And you do, is it human design or
emotion code and body
emotion
code?
coding? That's what it is. Okay. I knew it was something like that. Mm-hmm. It's more about putting your energy out there in a bigger way. I hope that makes sense. But sometimes it's like you kind of sit in the background and you like to just watch, but watching doesn't grow your business.
Yes, absolutely.
You need to be able to use your energy to move it forward.
Yeah. And I think, Ellie, I'm seeing you're being on the right path. And I agree with Kristina. We've all kind of watched each other bloom and watched us come out even more so. I do feel like, and I know you're taking and working with some people to look at promoting businesses. I do feel like there is something missing for you to bring in and to promote. So I feel like what Spirit's saying is you're on the right path, but there's something more. There's something over here that I feel like they're going to be pulling into to you to use. I don't necessarily feel like it's a new, like all of a sudden you're going to be like, hey, I'm doing Akashic Records or something like that. I feel like they're saying personal advancement. So something's going to come in where it's going to alter your perspective and how you're viewing your business. That's going to make you shift that plan a little bit. But I do feel it's growing. I feel a lot of growth coming for you within the next year. So that's awesome. I'm so excited for you, Ellie. I love you. And so I really want to see this for you.
Awesome. And Erica. All right.
Yes.
So I know you guys are, if you're watching, you can see I'm closing my eyes as I'm tuning into people because I'm very visually distractible. So
I get that.
I close my eyes and I focus on your name and tune into your energy that way. And when I tuned into your energy, what I was just watching, and as I was watching, I started seeing an infinity symbol creating, like just kind of be with it, just be with it, just go with it, just be in the infinity. And I feel like you flow pretty well most of the time, but you do seem to get caught up in the run of everyday life. Like it feels like you have kids because that causes that kind of run, you know, where you have to be in charge, or not in charge, but, you know, you do have to be in charge when you have kids, but making sure everybody gets where they're going on time and sticking with the schedule and blah, da, 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 da. And that sometimes it's really easy to get lost in that. And, but I also see you really tuning into your spirituality. And I'm seeing a lot of Native American around you. I feel like you have Native American guides, at least 2 of them are Native American. And just really focusing on, for you, when you focus on your spirituality, it's like, boom, you get centered, you get focused, and then the crazy starts again. And you jump into the crazy. That's life. I mean, you know, as far as that goes, but messages for the new year is that you have a pretty good schedule down. And as long as you can remember to keep your own self-care and spirituality in that schedule, everything will go pretty smoothly this year.
I love that. And as Christine, and again, my guides are just so blunt and they're like, stop using the crazy as an excuse is really, you know, what they're like, because it's not that you can't have the time. It's not that everything's so hectic. It's that you have one foot on either side of the fence. Yes, you have these abilities, you want to develop them. And I've been there. I'm sure Christina's been there too. And then it's like, oh, I just saw a guy walk through my living room. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm out. And so you distract yourself. You create these things. And I don't even know if it's your physical schedule, but I feel so much of it is mental. You're creating these things to mentally distract yourself from the other senses and the other things that are going on. Spirit also wants to, you know, I know you're working on some projects. I know you have these things in development, but they want to stress the need for professionalism. For if you're looking at doing these things and doing these projects, not to jump in and be like, okay, I'm doing these projects. This is the time I'm giving to spirit. And then they're saying half-assing it. Really focus, really put in that extra time to be professional, to make sure that you're coming out knowledgeable and strong within your opinions and within your presentation. That's something that they're really stressing. And they're also saying, stop ignoring us. So I wish you luck with that.
Sorry, that
No,
was
well,
really
we've all
funny.
been there. It's just, and I
Yeah,
get it. I get
yeah,
it.
yeah, I know. It's like, sometimes I just want to tell people, you know what? We all get through it. It's all going to be okay. Just breathe.
Yes. Yeah.
Just breathe.
Yes. Just breathe.
And
Just
breathe deep, because a lot of us don't breathe deep enough.
right.
That's a huge thing. And I know Kelly is up next. That was more of a general statement.
Yes. Yep.
You
Nope.
know, reminding people to breathe, especially like when I'm sending in energy to someone, especially like doing a long distance healing or something. Uncross your feet, unclench your jaw, pull the tongue
Yes.
off the roof of your mouth, and breathe.
Yeah.
So many of us walk around just
Tightly wound. Yes.
tightly wound all the time. And really, what has that gotten us?
Yeah.
It's gotten us a lot of stress and some medical issues. So,
It
settle down.
has. And
Yeah.
even, we'll get to Kelly in a second, but I was just an example. My kids had a orthodontist appointment, and I'm somebody where if I see somebody walk in, I make eye contact. First of all, just I'm situationally aware, but I will make eye contact. I'll smile. I'll say good morning. And there was a woman who I smiled at her as she was leaving, and 2 minutes later she came back in and she said, I have to thank you for smiling and for acknowledging me. We have grown so tightly wrapped that we don't acknowledge each other.
Yeah. I know, I smile at people and they just kind of like look at me like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Are you crazy? Why are you looking at me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just, each one of us is responsible for making this a friendlier world.
Yes,
I'm just going to
absolutely.
let it go at that.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yes.
Yeah. So Kelly says, after decades of dedication on this project, I'm ready for more information. Gah! I can feel that frustration. Ooh. All right. Yeah, decades of working on one project. It's like, wow, how far can you take that? But I feel like you want to take it further.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know where to go with it. So
Right.
I'm going straight to Kelly's guides because they know her better than everyone else. And asking Kelly's guides, where does she go with this project? The first thing they said was, again, breathe.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath and take a step back, because you're too close. You're too
Mhm.
close to be able to see the next direction, because you're basically, I mean, if you look at it like it was all written out on a walkway, you're standing at the very end of what you've written most recently and looking for what's next. But they're saying, take a step back, look at what's already been done, and then go, oh, I can take this there.
Yes.
But it's about taking a step back. It's about taking a deep breath and relaxing and just going, all right, I can move this forward, or I can go in this direction or that direction. I don't feel like whatever project this is goes straight forward. I feel like with all the shifting we've been doing in the world lately, the ascension, the way the world is shifting, the energy increase on the planet, everything is going in a little different direction. So just take a step back, look at where you've done, and ask the project where it wants to go.
Yes.
That's what your guides are telling me to share with you.
And I love that, because I think your message is spot on. As I had initially started tuning into Kelly, I got very nauseous, very literally leaning over the toilet, like I'm going to vomit, because I could feel how much energy has been put into this. And like you said, she's so close to it, because we all know when we put an amount of our energy into something, for that to fail in our eyes is just, it can be devastating. And I
Absolutely.
feel that with Kelly. I feel where it's just like I've put, like she says, decades into this. I don't want to fail. I don't know where to go. And I think if you use the information that Kristina got from your guides and take that step back and give yourself that time to breathe, look at it from different angles, I think that you will have new information come in and see some advancements. I feel like it'll start off small, but closer towards the end of the year, you'll start seeing some snowballing and things picking up. Just keep that faith, take that step back, and allow it to come in.
Okay, so moving on to Marilyn.
Yes.
I love Marilyn. First of all, Marilyn, congratulations. You asked for what you needed, and I know that that's a struggle for you. So congratulations on that for stepping up. And I can hear her laughing as I'm saying that.
You know, it's funny because I looked at the time, I'm like, we're running out, and I went right to this one because I'm like, I felt like there was that importance in exactly what you're saying, her being like, I don't feel like normally she'd be someone to raise her hand.
Never.
But it's like celebrating that. Like she's like, hey,
Yes.
wait, see me. I need to be seen right now.
Yes, yes. And you are seen. And Marilyn was on my show Monday night. So
Oh, I love it.
yeah. She was part of the Soulful Sharing Circle that was on my show Monday night. And she had some really good things to share. And so I'm going to go, because I already know you, Marilyn, I'm going to go right to your spirit guides so that they can give you direct information. So as I'm talking to them, they're kind of laughing because they've been pushing you to do this. They've been pushing you to step up, to step out a little bit, and you've been resisting. And so they have pushed you to step up and say, okay, I have a need and I would like it fulfilled. And they are just cheering that you did that. Like that was almost the whole message. Like not all of it, but that was a big part of it. That was a big part of the message. The other part of it is there are some congratulations coming to you. And I know I have a lot of the backstory about the holidays and stuff, but the amount of growth that you have shown, like they're saying in the last even 6 months, like you are a completely different person than you were 6 months ago. And your spirit guides are so, so, so happy about that because you are doing this and you're doing it with purpose and you're setting down some of the other things that you used to distract yourself with. And you're now starting to realize, or you have realized, that those were actually distractions and that it was very difficult for you to set those things aside because you always had this idea of, if I don't do this, people won't love me. If I don't do this, I won't be accepted. And what you're finding out is that people are accepting you exactly the way you are. And that is the most important message of your lifetime.
I love that.
On to you, Stephanie.
Yes, I love it. That's beautiful. And what's funny is what Spirit's showing me is they use a lot of imagery for me when they're coming in with psychic messages. And I literally saw, Marilyn, you standing in the center of a dark room. And they showed me you as this small person. But as they progressed it, they started showing you growing and putting your shoulders out, becoming proud. And the room went from dark to starting to get this glow. And then they showed me as the glow reached out these walls, but they're walls that you established yourself and then put boundaries around on the outside. So it was almost like you had encased yourself in these, I want to call them expectations of yourself or limitations of others' access. And all of a sudden, like you went into a total Karate Kid mode and started kicking down these walls. And it was letting all this light coming into you. And that was telling me that you always knew a lot of these things that you know now, but you're now allowing space for you to take your truth out to other people. You're now ready to take down these walls. And I feel like you have gone from a place of uncertainty to, like, I feel this giddiness of, I am finally who I am. I am finally letting people see me. I'm not playing the chameleon constantly and switching my hats to fit what you think the social expectations or the expectations of that moment are. You are just finally free. And they show me these beautiful wings coming out from you. And that just represents that growth and standing in happiness and joy and acceptance of who you are.
Awesome. Right. Thank you for popping on, Marilyn.
Yes, beautiful. I love these messages. I am so thankful for everybody who's popped in. I do have, and I think this is an interesting question to kind of shift and maybe, edge the show out in. Right. But the Facebook user asks, have you ever had to put your moral compass down to conduct your professional career? Maybe a person wanting a reading, but when you start, a bunch of red flags pop up indicating the person is being fictitious.
Facetious, maybe?
Facetious. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. I haven't had a lot of coffee today, guys.
That's okay. That's okay. I have. I've had a lot of coffee today.
Kristina's over there like jogging in her seats.
All right. You know what? Early in my career, I did, because I was living in a space of fear of financial lack.
Yeah.
And it took a lot for me. I mean, that was a thing that went way deeper, like under your question, like I would go there and I would do that, and then it never felt right. It never felt good. And I've only done it a couple of times because it just didn't feel
Yeah.
good. And and every once in a while somebody still comes along and they're facetious and they play this, what I like to call test a psychic.
Yes.
And that's when they sit down in front of you like this.
I used to be that person. I'm sorry.
And they are not good. They're throwing up walls everywhere. They're
Yeah.
not going to give you any information. And I have done that. I don't do it anymore. I haven't done it in years, because that's not authentic to who I am, and it's not
Yeah.
serving them.
Absolutely.
I will just tell people, you're blocking, you're throwing up walls everywhere. If you want an actual reading, then let me know. I will give you an
Absolutely.
actual reading, put down your walls so that I can connect with you and we can go from there. Yeah, it's a tough situation to be in, especially when you need the money.
Yeah. No, I
You know?
agree. And
Yeah.
I've had readings like that where with people too, or even from the opposite end of the coin where they're putting up the walls. And like I said, I was that person. As I was getting into this, I would test people because I wanted to know, good morning, Barbara. I wanted to know their authenticity, and I would block as hard as I could. And I would sit there and be like, let's see if you're really connecting. And now looking back, that wasn't fair. I shouldn't have done that, but I wasn't educated. I wasn't educated in the field. I wasn't
Right.
educated with the exchange of energies. But I've had people who will come and sit down, and everything you tell them, no, no, no. And it's from the opposite end, because they are so blocked. They don't want to hear what you're bringing in. And so it doesn't mean that that information isn't accurate. And I've refunded people where it's like, okay, I know what I'm giving you is accurate, but I also know what game you're trying to play or manipulate. And like you said, it's hard in the beginning when you need that income to say, hey. But as you move more into professional aspects of this field, I feel like and understand those things, it becomes easier.
It becomes easier. And also, as we are more in touch with our own authenticity,
Yeah,
we draw more authentic people to us.
absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great point. So I do want to thank everybody who tuned in today for sending in your questions. I hope that we were able to help in our connection with spirit and sending you some of those messages for your outlook. Yeah, Aaron, I agree. Some people don't want to face truths. That's a hard place to be. It's a vulnerable spot to be for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Before we leave, Kristina, tell everybody where they can find you on WLTK-DB.
Oh, yeah. I'm on Monday nights at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. I have two back-to-back
Yes.
shows. So the 8 o'clock show is Be the Change. And this week I have a lovely woman who owns a retreat center. I believe it's in Costa Rica.
Wow.
And yeah, so Fiona will be with me on Monday night, and we will be talking about some of the other stuff that she does in addition to the retreat center. And she is a coach. She's a spiritual business coach, and
I love it.
just a lovely, lovely person. And after that, at 9 o'clock, I do a show with my oldest son. His name is
Yes.
Logan Jacobson, and we have a lot of fun. It's called the Paranormal Room. And this, I don't know how this is going to resonate with the early morning crowd, but they're doing something called Phasmophobia. It is a
Oh,
virtual horror game, ghost game. And he and a friend are
interesting.
doing it on the show. I will be monitoring comments.
Interesting. I'm going to have to like set my alarm to wake me up off the couch to catch that one, because that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it's something we've never done before. And normally we are interviewing people. So the following
Yes.
week, we have a gentleman named Resnick who is going to come in, and he's part of CAPS. And Logan and Kristina are hilarious and fun to listen to. Thank you, Erica. That's who I thought that was.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a good time on that show. We have a lot of fun. So tune in for a lot of laughs. So tune in at 8 o'clock to learn something, and then tune in at 9 o'clock to get a good belly laugh before you go to sleep, because we have so much fun on that show.
I love it. And Todd says it's going to be awesome. Our producer's listening backstage. So
oh yeah, he's really excited about that phasmophobia thing.
Yeah, I am too. I'm like, this is pretty interesting. Yeah. Next week on the show, my guest is Resnick, who Kristina was just talking about. So you guys will love him. He is fantastic. He's a spectacular person. So tune in. Check out the station at WLTK-DB.com. There are tons of shows of all different kinds. There's more added. My contact information, Mary, you can find me on Facebook at Stephanie Lynn Spirit Sensitive or Chat with Charlie. You can also email me at chatwcharlie.com. So lots of ways to get a hold of us out there. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We wish you all the best in the new year to come. And Kristina, thank you so much. I really enjoyed having you on today.
Thank you very much. If someone wants to contact me for an appointment, the email is psychickristina67@gmail.com.
And I do have at the top of the page, I have the link to here it is, the link to her website. So please make sure that you check her out. And I'll leave that on there for just a second as Todd's looking at his clock going, ladies, it's time to end. But hop on to KristinaBloom.com and get in touch with Kristina. You guys will love her as much as I do. Thank you. Have a great week, everybody.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.